You watching TWTTV. Now, ain't that a tongue twister? Taj got me up here saying this. It's your boy Chino Dollars, a.k.a. Chino. See how I flipped it around, man. TWTTV. Make sure you check in. Stay locked. Always updated. Always hot stuff.
Welcome to another special edition of TWTTV. I know y'all didn't see this one. I've been surprising y'all with interviews left and right. First it was Lucky, then it was Mouse, and he said some controversial things on that interview. So now we're sitting with the most controversial man in the city, next to me. All right, Chino Dollars.
What's up, man?
Man, you know, I know the people they're looking at this. I know they're gonna be looking at this one and like, what in the hell is getting ready to happen in this conversation?
You know how it go, man. I'm well-rounded, so it ain't nothing I can't speak on. I don't bite my tongue. I ain't had my opinion, my perspective.
What's going on? How you feeling, man? How's everything going?
Man, I'm feeling good, man. Getting fat, but you know, I'm gonna get it together. Yeah. You know what I mean? I want to be one of the brothers that successful, end up with diabetes and nothing. So
go get that Sandy workout. I just bought it. You know what I mean? I ain't cracked it open yet. It's been sitting on my table for about a week. I can't get away from BW3s, but
man, you know, my problem. I go to the gym for about a week. I chill out for about 3 weeks. You know what I mean? So I'm gonna get it together though. Business is good. Life is good.
This is a big year in politics. Probably this election is probably more important than Obama when he first came in office.
Yeah.
Due to the direction that Mitt Romney wants to take if he's elected. Now, as a Republican, do you agree with his plan to cut law enforcement in half, education in half, get rid of Section 8, get rid of welfare and and Medicaid? Do you agree with that?
I can't say I agree 100%. I agree that some changes need to be made. I agree that those programs, they don't work when you go back and look at the historical reasoning for those programs. Like, welfare wasn't put in place for you to stay on welfare forever. It wasn't put in place for you to be complacent. It wasn't put in place for you to be dependable. It wasn't put in place for you to get comfortable living in a jacked up situation. It was put there so we could assist people into getting, you know what I mean, to increasing their position in society to where, you know, at the end of the day, everybody wants people to make money so they can pay taxes. You know what I mean? Without taxes, you don't have your fire departments, you don't have your policemen, you know, all the way down to the guys in the trucks who pick up your trash, you know, so cutting it out to where it doesn't exist, no. But as far as going in, reworking some things, because at the end of the day, most federal programs, man, are honestly bleeding cash out. You know what I mean? So they need to go in and need to be readjusted. I think some major changes need to happen to welfare where you can't just sit on welfare forever. I don't think you should be able to keep making baby after baby after baby after baby and sit on welfare. I think at some point, the same way moms kick their sons out the house, at some point you gotta get kicked out the house and stand on your own. And I think, you know, his approach may not be the best, but as far as, you know, the message, it might not be the best as well. But as far as what he's trying to do, I mean, he's a businessman. We're talking about somebody who has found a way to make money and he made it. You know, so his thought process is, if I could do it, you could do it. Now, that's not necessarily true, but at some point we have to, as a society and as a people, say that, you know what, we got to start making moves and making the right moves. And I think one of those moves is cutting people off of welfare. He is cutting people off of food stamps.
But he's also talking about, you know, readjusting the workforce, and 4.1 million jobs could be lost due to his new plan, the structure he's want down. You want to cut when you want to restructure programs, right? But listen, most people, there's a lot of felons.
Yeah.
Okay. So some of these people that are on these programs can't necessarily just go out and get jobs, neither, or the right kind of jobs to solidify their lifestyle, which is how many ever kids they have, where they live. Everything is going up. Gas goes up, food cost goes up, rent goes up, everything goes up, but people's incomes. So how do you adjust all this? It's going to be it's a lot of adjustment that's needed. So how do you handle that?
Well, I think, well, first let's look at the first group or demographic of people you said, ex-felons. Ex-felons ain't the only people out here who can't get jobs.
You got college graduates.
You got college graduates who can't get jobs.
So if you're cutting all that, you force people to go to work, and there's no work.
Well, first off, there are jobs out here. It's just jobs we don't want. You know what I mean? Like me and you, we're entrepreneurs. But there are jobs out here we can go get right now if we wanted to work. We don't want that. You know what I mean? So it's not necessarily like, it is hard to find a job. I've been through the process of having degrees and interview after interview, resume after resume, and not finding a job. Like, that's nothing new. You know what I mean? So When you talk about cutting and restructuring, it's the same thing with Obamacare. That was a cut and a restructure where it cost jobs, it cost people insurance, just as much as other people got on insurance. Like, you got to look at these plans. You got to look at who it helps. So when you're talking about a presidential candidate, you got to look at what do you want. You as Taj, do you want lower taxes because you're in a certain tax bracket? You got to look at those programs when they're cut. You got to look at how they affect you. And the truth of the matter is, every restructure, every time a program is cut, every time a program is built, somebody gets the good end of the stick, somebody gets the bad end of the stick. My whole thing is, whether it's Mitt Romney, whether it's Barack Obama, both of them are going to institute programs to where somebody like me and you may not benefit versus the person over there will benefit. As a small business owner, being forced to have employees have health care, I don't benefit from that. But the person who needs health care, the person who is sick, the person who, has kids who may not have health care, yeah, they benefit from it. So, I mean, really with all them programs, it's the same thing. Somebody over here is benefiting, somebody over here is losing. I hate to say it, that's politics. You can't fix the situation for everybody. So you got to do your best to fix what your base is. And I hate to say it, but if you're not voting for me, I care about people as a whole. But even more so, the people that I support, the people that I see, the people that I talk to, those are the people who stand in the back of my mind when I'm sitting down with senators, when I'm sitting down with state representatives, when I'm sitting down with lawyers, I'm sitting down with other lobbyists, and we coming up with these rules, these regulations, these new laws. You're thinking about, first and foremost, the people that you've seen, you've talked to, who've written you letters, who've written you emails, and things of that nature. So a lot of the times, the people who are negatively impacted by this, they're not talking. Like that whole, we don't have a voice. Man, we got plenty of voices now. We got internet, we got, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. I can keep going. I don't want to pump them social networks because they ain't cutting us checks, but I can go that for days. You know what I mean? Like, we got a voice. So, at some point, we have to take it upon ourselves and say, okay, this program that Mitt Romney has going is going to cut law enforcement in half. You know who don't care about that? People who ain't got problems with crime. You know what I mean? You think they care? They're not thinking about that. And I hate to say it, in the black community where crime is high, 9 times out of 10, we're not thinking about the law enforcement being cut because we don't really utilize it like certain people do anyway. Something happened, we don't call the police. So what we care about if it's 13 cops? The only time we call the police is when something happen to us. Then that whole no snitching comes out. So it's like, I hear a lot of complaints about programs cutting this, programs cutting jobs. Well, you talk about 4.1 million people unemployed. I wonder how many of that 4.1 million don't want to work anywhere. Not saying that there's most definitely people who I would rather work than sit on welfare. But we both know a lot of people who sit on welfare, they don't want a job. They collect welfare, they do hair in their kitchen, you know what I mean? Or they're a booster, this is real, they're a booster. Or you sell bootleg CDs, DVDs, like this. These are real scenarios that we know about. Mitt Romney, as a high-ranking rich Republican, he don't know about that. And the truth of the matter, as much as everybody want to play like Obama's a man of the people, he don't know nothing about that either. You know what I mean? He came from that element. He might have seen it here or there. He ain't lived that. So you got to look at the numbers, and the numbers are always going to be tweaked for us to get what they want us to get. So depending on what side is giving you the numbers, you ain't never going to really know what's right, what's wrong. It's always going to be two.
So how do you feel about Obama right now? Do you think he's done a good job since he's been in?
I mean, he did okay. I mean, he's done what I expect. I expected him to be a president. I didn't expect him to be a savior. I didn't expect him to be a magician. I didn't expect.
What do you say to people who feel like, man, Obama didn't do nothing for black people, or Obama didn't do this. He said he was going to do this, and he didn't do that, but he did do certain things that the president's supposed to do.
To them people, I say, you don't know what he did. Because every time they say he didn't do this, he didn't do that, everything, if they speak in detail, 9 times out of 10, the average person, when they say Obama didn't do a specific thing, that's that one specific thing you remember from that one speech that you watched. You know what I mean? So it's like, if you're going to have an open book conversation about what he hasn't done, you have to list what he's done. Even furthermore, again, you got to look at what is it that you expected this president to do for you. If you expected to just sit on your couch, Obama become the president, and somebody knock on your door, hey Taj, guess what? You know Obama the president now, man. I got a check for you. I got a job for you. Oh, by the way, I left a Benz outside. You the fool.
Right.
You the fool. You know what I mean? So I expected him to be a president. And again, like I just said, as president, somebody's always going to get the short end of the stick. Somebody's going to always get the bad end of the stick, because we're talking about a very diverse nation. And even furthermore, we're talking about a financial situation where a small percentage of people make all the money. So when you look at that middle economy, you know what I mean? When you look at the people who are kind of in the middle, they're not poor, they're most definitely not rich, but they living, they're comfortable. That has continued to swell. You know what I mean? Like, we used to be a 3-class economy. We're really not a 3-class economy. You know what I mean? We're really a 2-class economy. It's really the haves and the have-nots. You know, so it's like.
Do you feel with it being, because we both know the middle class is almost wiped out.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I grew up in the middle class, and that, you know, you don't really see that anymore. So do you feel that we need to get that back in order to get the economy back, or do you feel like it's because? Do you think the economy continues to get back into the right structure that it needs to be, right, with having just a have and have not? So do you need that middle class to come back?
It's hard to say, because one of the things when you look at the economy, you got to also look at society. And one of the ways that society has chosen to adapt to the economy is blended families. Like right now, you will have a father, and you know, I'll try to break this down as best as I can.
Don't tell me about the business deal.
No business deals. You got a father. No, seriously, you have a father who has a kid by a woman, but he doesn't marry that woman. So he has a kid over here, and he marries this woman over here, and they have a kid. That one kid now has 3 adults, and possibly 4 if the mom gets married. 4 adults looking out for his welfare, you know what I mean? So when it used to be traditionally the family was a dad and a mom taking care of the kids, it's not like that anymore. Now you got these blended families where your son, who now has a stepmom and a stepdad, has 4 adults looking out for him and financially providing for him. So society has started to adapt to the way that the economy is. You know what I mean? The truth of the matter is, and everybody was running around and hollering that it's a recession. For black people, it really didn't change much, man. You know what I mean? Unless you was in the service business to where your money is all made based on somebody spending money, you really didn't feel it, because we've been in a recession all our life. You know what I mean? Like us being, you know, late 70s, 80s, baby. Nah, ain't no recession in Bentley's, baby. You know what I mean? We doing it. You know what I mean? But see, I did just like society. I adjusted to the economy.
Right.
So those days of us having $20 parties on a regular Saturday night, we had to bring it down to where the economy is not stable enough to where the regular party is $20 every week.